Hey everyone, it is tea time with the diva. Grab your tea, grab your coffee, because we're going to get into it. This tea time is dedicated to the Diddy trial. Today is day 8, and as much as I can throughout the day, I will give you highlights and updates, and then we'll do a wrap up tonight at 8 p.m. during my trending topics. But for right now, I want to talk about some of the stars from the that was on Showtime. I don't know if it's still on Showtime. It was called Gigolos, right? And so one of the stars from there is saying that he been knew about Diddy's lifestyle long before it ever came out in the news because many of his co-workers went and did, I guess, services for Diddy and Cassie. I'll use the word services. Now, it's interesting to me that, everybody is speaking out now. And I'm going to say this. I feel like in Hollywood, this alternative lifestyle happens more often than not. And I feel like a lot of people engage in it. I feel like a lot went down at that Playboy mansion, and Hugh Hefner just lucked up that, he passed away before any scrutiny can come his way. But in 2012, it was said that Diddy pretty much OD'd over there at the Playboy Mansion. There are a lot of ex Playboy bunnies, that said their lives were changed and destroyed as a result of living at the Playboy Mansion or being involved with Hugh Hefner themselves. Hugh Hefner had a lot going on in that mansion, I think way more than Diddy ever had, and he got away with it. But listen, in life, I could be driving down the road and the sign says it's the legal limit is 60 miles per hour, and I could be doing 80. And I see everybody else seem to be doing 80 because we're all keeping up with each other. When the cops pull me over, I can't be like, well, why didn't you? They was doing 82. Why didn't you pull them over? Woe is me. So when you want to engage in these things, and 10 of y'all doing it, and you the one that get caught, you the one that get caught because you should have never been doing it in the first place. So unfortunately for Diddy, and fortunately maybe for his victims, he got caught. And although this is the Hollywood way, he got caught. Let me go ahead and share screen so we can get more into this story. So Gigolo star, I knew about Diddy. Not surprised co-stars are tangled up in the trial. So he talks about knowing about Diddy's lifestyle. He talks real lightly because, I think a lot of these people, they're full of it. They want to rewrite history. They're all telling it in a way that they saw nothing illegal, okay? Because of course they don't want to get themselves tangled up and tied up and have to, perhaps, find themselves with a criminal case. Let's take a listen.
Were you surprised to see, obviously two of your old co-stars from Gigolos being kind of wrapped up in all this Diddy trial?
No. I knew about Diddy a long time before the news did. And usually it was because I was on hold to go on to the job, and they wouldn't tell me, the agency wouldn't tell me who it was. But because of just talking to other escorts that worked at the company, I knew. Because it's hearsay. All I can really say is that some of the guys saw stuff and saw chemicals, and other guys did not. So, and some of them saw them for very long periods of time and said that they never saw any of the shenanigans, the violence, or crazy imbibing of chemicals that that is in the news right now. That's in the case. But yeah, there was definitely some reports of seeing some of that. From what I had heard talking to two other guys, it was that it was always a situation that was a little crazy, but that the chemical stuff was not always a part of it, and that neither of those men saw violence. I think for Diddy, it's just speculation here, that it was a power thing for him because he already had money and he already had sex, and he already had power. But to what degree he could expand that power really, I think, came.
You know what's interesting? A lot of people, they have these sex clubs. What's the difference with those people doing that? I mean, and I'm talking about outside of the violence that Diddy is being accused of. But if you're just talking about his lifestyle and want to say it was a power thing, what's the difference when these people hire people and they want them to put a dog collar on them or beat them or role play or whatever? But anyway, let's finish listening to him.
Came down to being able to control other human beings, and yes, you can control a lot of people if they're your employees. So, is it normal? Is cuckolding normal? Is letting the men watch normal? That's all normal, right? But to the degree at which he allegedly was plying Cassie with chemicals and other stuff, I mean, that's not unheard of, but it's also not normal.
Jimmy was all over the place, but okay. I appreciate, I guess, Jimmy coming out and saying what he knows, whatever that means, right? Jimmy says he and other escorts were well aware of what went on in Diddy's bedroom for a long time, and he's not surprised some of the ex co-stars are now wrapped up in the trial. You know, one of the co-stars from this show has been alleged to have taken the life of his girlfriend. Jimmy, who appeared on Gigolo season 1 and 2 as Jimmy Dior, tells us he was on hold a few times for Diddy, but never ultimately booked. He did, however, know other escorts at the agency who were, and some of the guys told him they did see chemicals or drug loose while others did not. One particular unnamed escort he spoke with, who was with Diddy and Cassie for a very long period of time, said he never experienced any of the violence or drug use highlighted in Diddy's federal trial in New York City. Jimmy explains it was always a situation. It was pretty crazy, but the chemical stuff was not always a part of it, and neither of those men saw violence. As we reported, photos of alleged sex workers that prosecutors say were involved in Diddy's freak-offs was shown in court this week, and two of the men happened to be stars of the Showtime reality TV show Gigolos. So that's one of them. Then Armani, who was known as Jules to Cassie, was allegedly the third person in the room at the LA Intercontinental Hotel. Oh. Right before Diddy was recording on surveillance video, beating her in the hallway. So maybe he didn't see violence, but he had to have heard that violence happened that day. Oh, that's interesting. Ash, this is the one they said took the life of his girlfriend. Prosecutors also shown a photo of Ash Armand, who appeared on season 3 of Gigolos and is currently in prison serving time after being convicted. Oh, he was convicted already of manslaughter for murdering his girlfriend in 2020. Jimmy told us he hasn't maintained contact with any of his former co-stars. He left the show in 2012 when he retired from escorting and is currently writing a memoir detailing the dates he went on, addiction and recovery, and what transactional relationships are really like. So, it's interesting. He said, the chemicals, not so much, but he was addicted too. So I think a lot of people, well, I'm going to say, I feel like probably a lot of people in said industry like that, they probably are addicted to something to numb their way through doing all of this. Like he said, transactional relationships. So it's interesting. He got out, he wrote a book. He's in recovery. All I could say is that, either way this trial goes, Diddy needs help, whether it's going to be help behind bars, getting rehab, or help outside. And I don't know if I'm convinced that, let's just say that Diddy gets says found not guilty. I don't know if I'm convinced that he would be able to come out in the free world and not still engage in said behavior and activity. And the reason why I say that is, if you know you're going to New York to turn yourself in, and you come with the supplies, the money, and the chemicals. I like the word he used. I kept using the word substances, so I wouldn't have to say the other word all the time. But I like the word he used. I'm going to adopt that. Chemicals. And all these chemicals in your room. then you got it bad. I don't know if this period that he's been in jail has helped him a little bit. I'm not sure what he could not be doing behind bars. Would I be surprised if some inmate turn on him and say Diddy did XYZ? I don't know if I would. But listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on him saying, you know what, he was on the list, but fortunately for him, he never got booked. But pretty much that everybody knew it was the open kept secret about Diddy's lifestyle. And if these gigolos knew, I'm betting money a lot of celebrities knew, and they were still chilling with him. They still hanging out with him. And I will say this: a lot of celebrities probably knew that he was putting his hands on Cassie and perhaps maybe others. Anyway, guys, chat with me. I'll chat back. Hit the like button. I'll see you in the next video.